This is a story about how I nearly lost my precious diatoms. For those of you unfamiliar with my project, I have different lines of genetically transformed diatoms that are needed for my master's project. These diatoms are genetically distinct from one another, so it'd be pretty great if we could keep them all alive at once, especially since I spent several months in total cultivating and selecting each line. Not to mention that I originally transformed these diatoms at a different university over an hour away. So it's not like I could easily re-transform the diatoms if they all died. Very simply put, these diatoms are really important and pretty badass. The story begins just before winter break, and my diatoms weren't growing as quickly as I expected them to be. Actually, they were just dying, so that's even worse. Insert panic sequence. I spent one late evening preparing media for plates, and inoculated each plate with a diatom line. You can probably see there's a lot of discrete science going on here. I'm pouring about 40 plates of media to spread about 40 different lines of diatoms, in the hope that my diatoms won't go meet their maker and leave me here stranded in Massachusetts without them. But I got them all spread and all was good, until I realized why my diatoms weren't growing. Apparently, some of the nutrients that I was using to prep the media that they were growing on were bad. And no one decided to tell me this. Great! So after all that work I did, I made plates with bad nutrients. By the time I realized this, it was like 2 days before the holidays and I was running out of time. So I went back into the lab late at night, threw on my lab coat, and cranked out a new set of plates. I mean, it was just manual labor that I had to worry about, right? Actually, no. You see, my diatoms were already pretty pissed at me from last week because they were already dying when I first spread them in the first place. So there was no guarantee at this point, if I got them spread on a plate, that they would grow for me. So here I am, piling on as many diatoms to each plate as I can, and hoping that some of them would grow. Regardless of me going home for holidays, there was really little I could do anyway, because either my diatoms were going to grow on my new plates, or they were going to die on the old plates. So either way, I can't do much. And because the diatoms take about a week to show up on the plates anyway, it didn't matter that I went home for 10 days, because they weren't going to show me if they had grown or not. After I got back to Clark from my trip home for the holidays, I was able to check on my diatoms, and sure enough, they were photosynthesizing and not quite dead. And now that I'm back on campus for this semester, I replated my cultures a third time, and hopefully I won't have to do any more of this business for another 3 months or so. The lesson of the story is that science doesn't always go according to plan. And sometimes, diatoms can be little punks and don't want to grow for you, even though they're genetically transformed and really cool and stuff. So for now, crisis averted. Dylan out!